Hello guys, so as promised, finally I'm here recording this short video. I try to keep it short, about the process on how I create an expert advisor from scratch. So how I create a software, an automatic trading software from scratch. So from the first idea, how I work on this idea to see if it can be interesting to use, if you can get good results or not. So processing this idea with artificial intelligence using Python language, and then moving into the trading platform, for instance, MetaTrader 4, so coding the strategy into MetaTrader 4 platform using MQL4 coding language. Or you can code, of course, on any other trading platform, like, you know, NinjaTrader or Multicharts or many other trading platform. Okay, this is a really difficult subject because you should know really many different things for developing a full expert advisor, because it's not enough to be a good trader, it's not enough to have a good strategy, it's not enough to be a programmer, so to have the ability to code your strategy. It's not enough. You have to know many different things. You have to know the market, of course. You have to know mathematics, statistics, and probability calculations, or at least you have to have the ability to let the computer to work on that. Because when it comes to trading, it looks like pretty simple, okay? When you trade manually, the first impact with the trading subject is, oh, it's not that difficult, okay? I could, buy there, sell there, I would make that money, okay? Yeah, it seems easy. But of course it's not. And especially when it comes to algo trading, because algorithmic trading, because a software doesn't lie, while you can lie at yourself many times, watching a chart and say, okay, I could buy here, and then the market moves against your direction and say, okay, no, maybe it was not correct there, I should buy here, I was just, I was thinking to something else, So you can lie at yourself and say, okay, next time I will not do the same mistakes, It was just a mistake, so I will do better next time. But when it comes to algo trading, it's not like that, What you write down, what you code is what you're gonna be. And the market is gonna change. And what has been in the past never replies in the future. So you have so many difficult things to fix. Okay, and that's why I said you have to know many different things like mathematics and statistics, especially mathematics and statistics, because I have worked on so many expert advisors for clients, okay? I probably coded more than 500 expert advisors in total, so really a lot. And I can tell you honestly that no one of them is actually making money on the market, but it's not because they are coded wrongly or because I didn't do my job well, but the problem was the strategy. Of course, the clients come to me and say, okay, I have this strategy, I want to automate this strategy, and as a coder, what can I say? I say, okay, this is the price, I'm gonna do your strategy, and then you will have your expert advisor, and that's all. I'm happy, I worked, I got paid for it, and it's okay. But honestly, when a client comes with a strategy to automate, I can tell you straight away in 2 minutes if that strategy will have some chances to be profitable or not. This is not because I'm a hero of the trading subject. This is not because I'm, God. This is because I have experience in the subject. Okay. And the problem is that most of the traders comes to me to automate a strategy. They comes with an idea that is not objective. Okay. What I mean by that? I mean that if you rely on, for instance, on indicators, let's take an example of the RSI indicators. Okay, so RSI should show overbought and oversold zones. Okay, we all agree about that. Does it work? Of course not. An indicator is a lagging thing on the chart. Okay, it's using past data. Okay, it's using the past candles to calculate where to draw the lines. So how can you rely on something that uses only past data to predict the futures? Okay, I'm not saying that past data are not useful. Of course, it is useful because it's the only thing we have, to use. Is the only things we can use to make some predictions. But from the past data, we can take something interesting or something really not useful and not interesting, like an indicator. Because if today I can show you, so many examples, I could show you so many examples on how an RSI is set in a particular way. Today would work perfectly, tomorrow maybe keep on working perfectly, and maybe the next day would lose all of the trades. And so on and so forth for any other indicators. Why? Because market is never the same. It's never the same. Okay, maybe today there is low volatilities and it's ranging. Tomorrow maybe there is much more volatility and it's more directional. And who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, okay? We cannot know, of course. So an indicators cannot know it as well. And an RSI that shows an overbought here on this level, maybe on the same levels tomorrow, will not be overbought at all. Okay, so how can you make an expert advisor rely on something that really doesn't work? And you can mix things, you can mix up things as you like, you can use tons of indicators, you can mix them. Okay, when an indicators do this, and when the other indicator do that, and when the other again do that, and when the other again do these other things. And so lots of different, parameters to set, lots of different things, but they're not gonna be the answer. They're not gonna work. I'm totally honest saying that, but that's not gonna work like that. So what can we do? So what we could do is just rely on something that it objectively seen to anyone, that is not an indicator, but it's something like statistics. Let's make an example. For instance, here I have, some books. I read a lot of books. I attended a lot of, courses and webinars, and I studied really a lot in the past 10 years. And what I found out, the only things that you can really make a strategy on, you can really work on, it's something that not just in trading, but in nature works, always. And this is the mathematics, the statistics, and the probability calculations. Okay, it's probability. Nothing is certain at 100%. But it's the only weapon we have, the probability and the statistics. So why don't you use it? Indicators are not useful at all, honestly. So what I found out, for instance, one of the most interesting books I have read about trading is this one from Larry Williams. Okay, this is Italian edition, of course, but there is the English edition, obviously, as he speaks English. And so this is a really interesting book because it talks about trading in a different way than most of other books does. And it speaks about seasonalities. It speaks about, for instance, what this market. Let's make an example. Larry Williams would tell you, you're trading Euro US dollar, for instance. Okay, so today is Thursday. Okay, do you know what usually does Euro USD on Thursday? If I ask this question to 100 traders, probably 99 of them that would say, how can I know? Well, you can make a statistic. And you have a starting point. Okay, so every Thursday Euro USD would do the same? Of course, no. But if you know the statistics, and if you know how many times does something, how many times doesn't do something else, well, you have a starting point, and maybe you can develop that idea. So this is just a really stupid and simple, thing to start with, but it's something objective. That's what I mean with objective. If, for instance, I take the last 10 years, so quite a good amount of data, okay, the last 10 years, and I go to analyze using Python, using artificial intelligence, because it's easier, it's better, it's faster, okay? If you analyze, the last 10 years, what a certain day, like today, Thursday, what this cross pair, Euro USD, did, and if a nice statistics comes out, I might use it. For instance, if I see that usually on Thursday, Euro USD closed higher than the open, usually at 75% of the time, for instance, and 82% of the time the market moves below the open before close upper the open. This is just a statistic, but it's really interesting to know, right? Okay, so I know that for instance, 75% of the times close above the open, so 75% of the time the trend is long. I can use this knowledge to create a system, right? And this is something objective, because it's not something lagging. It's not something that maybe tomorrow is not true anymore. Tomorrow will be true again. Okay, maybe the statistics will change in the next year, but it's not gonna change, like a week to another or a day by day. Okay, so this is just a starting point, but it's the way I'm thinking, it's the way I'm researching to develop my automated system. Okay, It doesn't make any sense to watch a chart every single day with tons of indicators without knowing what statistically did in the past, that pair, that day, that month. Okay, you can exaggerate these things not just to a certain day of the week, like Thursday, but you can maybe see every hour of that day. Or maybe you can check London Open, New York Open, statistically what the market does. You can work with volatility. What is the statistics about volatility on Thursday on that pair? It moves usually 80% of the times inside a 50 pips range. So what's the point to not trade if that day the market moves above the 50 pips? Because the probability that will close inside that 50 pips are pretty high. So these are just little ideas that you can develop, okay? But these are objective ideas because you're gonna see what mathematically did the market statistically, and you can develop a probability calculation based on it, you know, and that's a good starting point. And then you can refine that strategy, maybe adding, okay, at that point, maybe some indicators, you know, to help you identify a trend or something like that. But indicators should be only a confirmation of what you found out, and in the first instance, in the first idea, objective idea. If indicator is used to confirm an objective idea, a mathematical statement, you know, that might be useful. But if you start with an indicator, you're gonna fail. So this is the way I'm working. This is the way I developed Aquos, and this is the way I will develop any other strategy in the future. So if you're interested, because some of you ask me to collaborate together, to make something together, to make a new expert advisor starting from scratch, that's okay. I'm always open to collaborate and to work with people, of course. I love this job, I love this work, I want to do it, and I want to keep on doing it. And so it's okay. This is the way I'm working. It's a way longer process than maybe any other programmer. Of course, I can be just a normal coder, a normal programmer. If you come with this strategy and say, okay, how much for this strategy? I want to automate this strategy. I can tell you the price, I can do it, and there's no problem. But I know already you're not gonna go anywhere with that strategy, okay? It might be rude, might seems rude, but it's true. If you want to do something really interesting that might work in the future, might keep on working good and make money in the future, we have to make a longer process. We have to make something based on mathematics and statistics. That's the only way we can work and we can profit from the market. So I hope that, of course, I could, you know, stay here and speak for hours and hours and hours, because the subject is really difficult, and it's really difficult to explain what I mean. But, you know, this is Python, just a really short and fast view. You know, you're gonna use data, you're gonna make some statistics about this data you have, and with the help of the computer, that's gonna be, of course, easier than how it was, you know, years and years ago, that everything was just written down manually. That was too difficult. Okay, you came up with a strategy, then you move to a MetaTrader, into MetaTrader, and then coding, and then testing and stuff like that. So the whole process is like this one. Okay, using artificial intelligence is a cutting edge for us, because it's really It's faster. Okay, it takes lots of resources from your computer, and it's difficult to code. It's not something easy to do. But the results are totally stunning, way better than anything else you can do manually, because computer will show you, the machine will show you so many data at the same time you couldn't even think about, and maybe a new better idea comes out with the results of the first idea, because you analyze maybe Thursday for Euro USD as our Forex example. You analyzed something like related to the open and close, and maybe it comes out something even much more interesting because of the artificial intelligence, and then you move to the other idea, say, oh, that's much more interesting than my idea, so let's take this one, let's process this one, let's try to find out something even better on this one, let's get out some results and see what we get. And when we are happy with the results, why don't we try to code it in a trading platform and see what we got? So it's a long process, but it's the only process, to me, in my opinion, that it will drive you in the right direction. I hope you liked this video, and you know where to find me. If you are interested, just write me a direct message and I will be happy to answer all of you. Thanks a lot.